Hello, everyone, and welcome into your daily card reading for Monday, February 12th, where we'll take a look at what all energy is wanting to come through for you from God, Spirit, the Divine. So let's go ahead and jump in. We'll take a look at a few cards here, the energy for the collective overall, and then we'll take a look by each sign grouping with the links in the description box below. So as always, remember, take only what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. And there will be videos posting this week with the energy for the second half of February. So make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when those new videos post. So, all right, well, let's jump in and see what all messages are wanting to come through. So we have our Five of Swords. We have our Six of Pentacles. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And the Empress in reverse. So with our Five of Swords, this is a little bit of like dishonest type of a vibe. So it's kind of like some ruthlessness there, but then also it's lacking effort. So the Seven of Pentacles in reverse is just kind of like abandoning projects. So sometimes this is a more active type of card, like that somebody's actively being like ruthless or deceitful or, going out there and getting it. But then with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, it's kind of a little bit of that type of energy as well. And then with the Empress in reverse, it's kind of a little bit about like feeling sort of unsupported and like cut off, and so it's kind of like it just kind of has that meh type of a feel to it, that maybe there's been some dishonesty. You feel like you've gotten the short end of the stick on something, and it's just kind of leaving you in a little bit of that sort of funk. So let's jump in and see kind of sign grouping by sign grouping what additional information we can get out of this, and see what sort of direction we have for you for Monday. All right. Let's see. So we're starting with our earth signs today. So that is our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, the Tower. So remember, the Tower is going to be those sudden, big, dramatic changes to your life. And usually it's something ending. So, that can be, especially this energy of feeling like unappreciated and not really very supported. The Tower coming in, it's kind of like if you're feeling that way, you need to stop feeling that way. But with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, this lacking effort, it's almost like you have a situation, it's bad, and you can definitely feel that there's been this ambitious, like dishonest type of energy going on. It's there, but you're lacking the effort to make any changes to it. So you're feeling unappreciated, but you're not doing anything about it. So that's when the universe steps in and is like, all right, well, boom, we're just going to knock that over, because you need to learn the lessons. And the fact that those lessons, like the Tower, usually comes after you've had multiple different times, situations that are showing you what you need to do, and it's just not happening. So it's almost like the universe is saying, all right, we're going to force your hand. We're going to change it up. And, if you've seen the second Hunger Games movie, when they're like, all right, change it up, spin the circle, and then everybody goes flying off the island part in the middle, it's almost like that sort of feeling. All right. Be bold and make the first move, Cardinal Moon. So this is saying, okay, if this is the energy that's coming in, that the universe is saying, all right, I'll just say bad. Something bad is on the horizons because you're not acknowledging it. This card is that reminder, do something about it. Like, if the whole thing is going to come tumbling down around you, do you want to just be sitting there like, oh, poor me, this is all tumbling down around me? Or do you want to be bold, make that first move, and you can control? I feel like control is such a bad word because it has negative implications, but you can direct it a little bit better if you're the one that's leading it versus being at the, you know, the whim of however the situation's gonna crumble. You know, that's why with buildings, when they do demolition, it's like controlled demolition because they want the building to crumble, but they want it to do it in a certain way. All right. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. So you've been in this, like, I'm feeling unappreciated, meh, lazy energy, like not doing anything. You're abandoning projects, you know, just kind of whatever's happening. But that's not what you're here on this earth to do. Like, you're here to learn, you're here to dance, you're here to, you know, experience love and all of those wonderful things. And if you're just kind of sitting in this, oh, you know, the situation's terrible, but I'm not doing anything about it type of energy, how's that a good learning experience for anybody? All right, let's take a look at your spirit animal card. Loon, intuitive. Listen to the song in your soul. Trust your intuition as you have a way of knowing. Emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. Recognize that you are unique and that you are loved. So go within, and, you know, these cards kind of all seem to have the same sort of hues to them, that, you know, you need to reconnect with you at that inner deep level and figure out, like, this whole dance with life. Do something to change your energy. How can you break free from the rest of this pattern that's created this dull meh within your life? So that is the message for our earth signs. Let's move on now to our water signs and see what message is wanting to come through for you. All right, so water signs, that's going to be our Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, the Empress. So the Empress, the overall energy had it in the reverse, but you have it in the upright. So it's being called, you're being called upon to have that divine feminine energy, that creativity, that flowing abundance, nurturing type of energy. So breaking free from this stuck scenario, and really just letting like your creativity and divine feminine flow. It's interesting because actually I was looking at this, the way Beverly's arms are and the way that the arms are in the picture part look very, very similar. So that immediately struck me when I flipped the cards over. So that the response to this ruthless, dishonest, ambitious type of energy is respond in love. Respond in that divine feminine nurturing. Now that's the light side of the light side of the divine feminine. There's also kind of the I'll call it the darker side. I think it's considered the darker side of the divine feminine, which is that being assertive, standing up for yourself type of energy, which is a little bit more emperor energy than empress, but you know, kind of cutting through the nonsense of whatever those lies and that dishonesty is, and standing in that divine feminine energy. Expect powerful change, new moon eclipse. So something big is coming. There's going to be some big change, whether that's within you, that's breaking you free from this kind of lack of energy, lack of wanting to do anything about it. Your jumper card. Okay, well, since that would end up being 3 jumpers, let's just do the one jumper. Is Sisterhood of the Rose, which is beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic teacher. And then the card I pulled is Starseed, what lights you up. So, yeah, kind of some bright reflection there. But looking at it, you know, if you're feeling unappreciated where you are and you just kind of don't really have much drive, it's because you're playing into somebody else's narrative, into somebody else's story. So there, with having like some of that dishonesty and ruthlessness, right now you're being a supporting role in somebody else's story, and you need to break out of that to be the lead in your own story. And you know, Obviously, life has ebbs and flows, and it can't be all about you every second, every day, but you've been sitting in somebody else's narrative for too long. I don't know why that specific thought pattern or that specific word choice was popping into my head, but right now you're just sitting there as a supporting role for somebody else and in somebody else's story, and you need to break out what lights you up. What is it that you need in your life to feel happy and fulfilled? And that's where the change needs to go. That's where the energy needs to go, where that Empress energy needs to be to break you out of that unfulfilling loop that you're in. Dolphin, play. Swim in the happy joy of living. Inhale confidence and exhale fear. Dive into your wisdom. Go with the flow. So those together, seems like it's a little bright. So those together, like doing what lights you up and playing and enjoying life, that's how you're going to break out of feeling unappreciated. That's how you're going to break out of that weird kind of rut that you're in right now. So that was for our water signs. And now onto our air signs, which is our Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Let's see what wants to come through for you for today. All right. Strength. All right. So in this situation where you are feeling unappreciated and you're feeling like there's some dishonesty and some maybe manipulation and some of that that's going on, you need to have the strength to be able to sit in that space while you're figuring out what your next step is. So with this, your Seven of Pentacles in reverse, you're abandoning different projects, and it's good that you're cutting out, okay, this is what's not working, and you need to have the strength to be able to figure that part out so that you can move forward on it. And this isn't, to me, especially with this being Worf, that's usually a very controlled, he does have his outbursts on certain things, but it's kind of like that very strong warrior, I'm cutting this out on purpose. I'm cutting this out on purpose. And really taking a look at it from all sides so that you don't get back into it again. And this says, step out of your comfort zone, North Node. So North Node is, what is it that you're here to do? Like, what are your life lessons for this lifetime? And North Node moved into Aries last July, and it's sitting there until about 11 months from now. I think it's January of 2025. And so that's all about being true to yourself and being unapologetically you. And if the narrative that you're in right now is not working for you, don't keep doing it just because you feel like you're supposed to do it. Like, have the strength to stand in your own power and say, this is what I want. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? That goes really well with this comfort zone picture, because that's all about how do you protect yourself and protect your own energy. And I know if you've struggled with setting boundaries, it feels foreign when you first start doing it, and it feels very unloving. Like, you feel as if, oh, but I should be forgiving. I should be this. I should be that. And notice all of those are I should be. And it's that sense of, well, the person didn't mean to do this, or they would if they could. And that creates a scenario where where the other people don't have to be accountable for their own actions because they're relying on you to be forgiving. And I'm not saying be like ruthless, mean, terrible about boundaries, but having strong boundaries can also be very loving, because it's saying, I want this relationship to work. Whether this is romantic, whether it's friends and family, whether it's, career or whatever, saying, I want this to work, and I know what I need to feel happy, balanced, fulfilled, whatever. And when somebody does XYZ, it makes me feel imbalanced, unhappy, unappreciated, unloved. So in order for this to continue to be good for both, this is how I need you to treat me. That's a loving thing to say, because you care enough about the relationship that you want it to go well. So you're trying to create a structure or a framework by which it will. So boundaries, air signs. Penguin, authentic. Reach out to your tribe in times of need. Family gives you strength when you face the storm. Love your uniqueness. You are full of surprises. Break free from others' expectations. Just be yourself. I feel like these three definitely all go together in terms of, setting boundaries so that you can flourish, so that you can be uniquely you, and that you're not being twisted and transformed because of somebody else's actions and behaviors, and you feeling like you're supposed to go with that, and that's what's leaving you feeling unappreciated right now, is that you're in a situation where if you had clearer boundaries, like if you had asked yourself before you were in the current situation, would you allow this, or this, you would have probably said, no, I don't want that. But you allowed it to happen, and now you're left in it. So, all right. Last but not least, we have our fire signs. So that is going to be our Aries, Leo, Sag. The Hermit. So this is that energy of kind of pulling back into yourself, the introspection, so that you can figure out what it is that you want and then light the way in that direction. So starting out the week in thinking mode. Oops, and there's a lot of cards. I don't know why the cards seem to be flipping all crazy on me today. All right. Conclusions are within reach. This card's come out, I think, for our fire signs before. So it's almost like you can see that the end is on the horizons, and you're almost there. And actually, look at the color of the moon over here and the color of all these leaves. So this lack of effort, this sense of abandoning projects and stuff like that, that cycle is coming to an end. Like this cycle of being, I'll call it, I used to have a client that would, I mean, he only said this once, but it totally stuck with the team, and we would use this phrase. He looked over at his practice manager. He's like, I need you to be dynamically engaged in this conversation, because I guess he thought she wasn't paying attention. So then that was kind of our phrase, is being dynamically engaged. And it's almost kind of like that's what this is not. This abandoning projects, lack of effort, all of that. That's like, you're not dynamically engaged. You're feeling unappreciated, and it's because of the fact that you've been, lied to and mistreated. So actually, it's funny, these cards go together. Like this one, the Hermit mode is because of the fact that you've been mistreated. You've been, somebody's been being overly ambitious or dishonest, somebody else has this hidden agenda, and so it's putting you into thinker mode, and that has left you feeling not dynamically engaged in that situation, be it a romantic relationship or a job or whatever, and it's been leaving you feeling unappreciated. So that part's coming to an end. It's almost as if right now the Hermit part is thinking about, how do I get out of that situation? Because you're just done being unappreciated. You're done being in that kind of unenthused energy. Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. So you are getting help from your guides. This is this change that's coming up when you're getting help from your guides like that. It's usually because this is a destined and fated change that needs to happen. So you need to be able to actually get all of the help that you can, because it's an important enough change in your life that it needs to play out. So make sure that in your meditations and prayers that you're asking for guidance, you're asking for help, and that will help kind of speed things along. Cat, independent. You are a natural healer. Your intuition is strong. You don't have to go with the crowd. Life supports you in every way. And this is something where, especially with these two, the situation that you're in, it's definitely having that feeling of you have continued to stay because you feel like that's what's socially acceptable or socially appropriate for you to do, even though it's leaving you feeling unfulfilled. So it's almost like there's whatever this structure or framework or belief system that says, this is how I'm supposed to be, and that's what you've told yourself that you need to do. Oh, I'm supposed to do this, but given the amount of dishonesty and mistreatment, it's putting you into that thinker mode of, really? Do I really need to do this? And so that's something, break out of those cycles, ask your guides for help, and go in the way that is good for you and for your soul and your growth, and then everything else will fall into place. So I hope that today's message has been helpful for you, and as always, take only what resonates, and I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.